These are the 5 reasons I hate working on Fiverr. My name is Gavin. I run an email and SMS marketing agency, and I specialize in helping e-commerce brands and coaches with their email marketing. But I record these videos really just to document my journey as a business owner and also to share tips and tricks that hopefully you can learn from yourselves. Now, on Fiverr, I've generated directly about $9,000 on the platform and indirectly a significantly larger amount. Now, Fiverr, I have a love-hate relationship with it. It's great when you're first starting, but there are some things on the platform that really piss me off, and I'm gonna run you through them today in this video. And I just want it to be more as a video that allows you to set your expectations when working on the platform. Now, here's the thing. That $9,000 I mentioned, I wouldn't have had it if it wasn't for Fiverr. So that's where my love-hate relationship kind of comes in. But I'm gonna highlight exactly the issues that I've had with the platform over the last really 3 years working with them. So straight off the bat, they take 20% of everything you earn on the platform. That's a lot. If you have any intention of using Fiverr as a lead generation strategy or as a tool to generate significant business, 20% really becomes unmanageable. If you have a $1,000 contract, which I've had on the platform, $200 of that is gonna go straight to the platform itself. It's an excessive amount in my mind. On top of that, they have a bunch of other charges that they slap on. They have fees around you running ads on their platforms. They also charge the customer when the customer wants to buy your services. 20% is way too much in my mind. On Upwork, and I have another love-hate relationship with Upwork as well, they charge 10%. So it's significantly less. Straight off the bat, anything you earn on Fiverr, 20% of it is going to go to the platform itself. On top of that, 20% going to the platform is one thing, and 20% of the work that you do, or rather the money you get paid for, is another thing. But a whole other thing, that's right, 3 things, is they take 20% of your tip as well. Now, if you're doing Fiverr properly, you shouldn't really be using it as your main source of work. You should be using it to open up conversations, but occasionally you'll do a good job and you'll get like a nice, $50 tip, $100 tip here or there, and they take 20% of that, which fucking sucks because that's your money, right? And I don't even think half the people who actually tip on that platform understand that 20% of what they're tipping to you is going straight back to the platform. And here's the thing, for people who charge significantly high amounts for Fiverr, and I charge, I would assume, way above the average on that platform, all it does is it encourages me to take business away from the platform, or encourages me to move people off, or encourages me to not direct people to my Fiverr gigs. It actually compromises Fiverr's position quite a bit, and it's frustrating, right? Because I love how it gives me organic reach, it gives me new audiences, but it becomes unaffordable for me to actually sell my services on there. 20%, that for a lot of agencies is their entire profit margin. So taking 20% of the total contract value and the tip, it's so annoying. Reason number 3, there is a real lack of transparency on the platform around your seller rating. Now, for those who don't know, your seller rating is essentially your level as a seller on the platform. You have just started, level 1, level 2, and then top rated. There are a series of requirements that you need to get to each one of those levels. For example, you need to have done a certain amount of jobs, maintained a certain level of responsiveness, and also generated a certain amount of revenue. But there's this other metric called your success score. And your success score is essentially how people are responding to your services after they've reviewed you publicly. So you know how we can all leave like a 5-star review publicly on Upwork or anywhere really, but then in confidence leave a anonymous review? Customers have the ability to do that, and that has the ability to affect where you sit on a level spectrum within that success score, which is rated 1 to 10. But unfortunately, Fiverr doesn't actually share that information with you. So all you know as an individual or as a service provider is that something, you don't know what, is going wrong and is causing your success score to go down. Now, I've asked multiple times for Fiverr to clarify what's causing, in some cases, my success score to go down and preventing me from becoming a top-rated seller, which I don't actually even know what that even does for me at the moment. But all they say is that it's a myriad of factors that cause your score to get calculated this way. There's a bunch of things that influence this, and they don't actually give you a solid answer. And unfortunately, their support is pretty useless. Like, the reality is, and this kind of brings me to my other point number 4, is that they are always going to side with the customer, the purchaser, not the service provider. And when you really boil it down to a business sense, it does make sense, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the customers who are spending money, and it's the service providers who they're having to pay out. So it makes sense. But if you have a dispute, more often than not, Fiverr is going to side with the seller because they're the ones that are actually paying the money, right? So it's not really gonna fall your favor more often than not. I've heard examples of people, for example, customers giving people links in the conversation and the seller being punished as a result. So they're always going to side with the customer. Reason number 5 that really pisses me off with Fiverr is the payment delays. Payment delays really piss me off. Fiverr has a bunch of different ways that it can screw you on how much money it pays you. Number 1 is the 20%. Okay, sure, whatever. They also have an option for early payout, in which you can get your money earlier after a certain period of time. In exchange, they'll take a larger percentage of the money that you've earned. It's so frustrating because here's the thing. All Fiverr is doing is deliberately keeping that payment held up for, in my case, 2 weeks, just because they want to get interest on the money being held in the bank account. It's not because it takes money for the payment to be processed. It's because Fiverr wants to take the customer's money, and keep in mind, the customer pays up front. They don't pay upon completion of the gig. So the customer pays up front, Fiverr takes that money, you have the job duration. So you as a supplier, you're not getting paid up front for what you've just sold, right? So you actually have to wait till the job's completed to then get paid, which leaves you as a supplier or a service provider on the hook, because in some cases we need to hire other people and we have to front the money. So now we have the customer, they have no money, Fiverr holds the money for them, getting interest on that money that they've set aside. And then once you complete the job, in some cases it's a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you have to wait another 2 weeks after the job has been completed before you can get your money into your account, which is incredibly frustrating, and it's just a dirty business tactic. And the fact that they offer you the opportunity to get your money early in exchange for a reduced portion of that money, they'll charge you like an extra percentage, is really frustrating to me. So those are the 5 things that really piss me off about Fiverr. Number 6, this one, I was contemplating really putting in this one. It's a bonus reason, if you will, is the quality of the clients on the platform are not nearly as good as somewhere like Upwork. On Fiverr, more often than not, people are looking for a deal. Now, I will caveat this with one of my highest paying clients right now came from Fiverr. And this is the issue. More often than not, the clients you're gonna get from this platform, they're not gonna be the best, but occasionally you're gonna get a nugget. And that nugget will pay for all the crappy ones that you had. So I do caveat reason number 6 with a little bit of a disclaimer. There are good clients on there. There are people willing to pay a lot of money for your services, but there's also a lot of crappy ones. And you have to sift through all that stuff. That's my experience as a service provider on Fiverr. And I've been doing it for the last 2 years. Probably even longer if you count some other services that I used to sell before I got into the current business that I'm in. And overall, it's been, I crap on Fiverr, but it's been a net positive. Even after I say all of that stuff, take all these issues with a grain of salt, in that it is still a tool to get you revenue. Now, don't let it be the only tool, and that's really what the purpose of this video is that it shouldn't be the only tool that you use, but it is a tool, and you just have to be willing to compromise on your margins when you're factoring in getting on this platform. There are things that piss me off, there are things that are annoying, but at the end of the day, like I said at the start of this video, that $8,000, $9,000 that I generated on the platform, I never would have generated without that platform, even if the platform pisses me off. Anyway, I hope you found that video useful. Any questions, shoot me a message, just add them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe, all that, classic YouTuber stuff, and check out my website if you need help with email marketing. Thanks.